What's going on? It's episode 461, Soul Not For Sale podcast. Let's get right into it. Now, this clip actually has to do with a gentleman named Dave Smith. I've done some videos about him in the past. He was on Rogan about a month or so ago, and he is a comic who has a deep political flair. He can memorize facts like crazy. He's very knowledgeable in what's going on in the world, constantly keeping on top of it. And he points out something that I did not think of when it comes to Tucker Carlson and Mike Pence and the conversation that Mike Pence is trying to concoct in the media, or what will happen from the conversation that Mike Pence is trying to concoct in the media, which is, are we giving Ukraine weapons fast enough? You know, that's the big question at hand. And yeah, he has a super interesting insight into that. I'm just gonna bring you to the store first. Let's go check out the anti-WEF stuff real quick. This is IamCoachColin.com. If you're a man or a woman looking for a t-shirt, we'll go to the women's t-shirts. If you want to give Klaus Schwab the finger in style, please head on to IamCoachColin.com and grab yourself a nice anti-WEF shirt. That website again is IamCoachColin.com. We also have the shirts that say Soul Not For Sale, and we also have the American flag edition to that same shirt that you can see at the store if you want 10% off of anything you find in the store. Big purchases, small purchases, anything. Put in the discount code area, I am Coach Colin, all capital letters, all one word, one L in the Colin, gets you 10% off. And if you're someone who's visited that site before and purchased anything, thank you so much. You are much, much appreciated. Now let's get into this clip.
Here's what's so amazing about this moment. It's a perfect example of what I was saying about the range of allowable opinion, what the great Tom Woods refers to as the 3x5 index card of allowable opinion, where there's this much bigger picture, but you're only allowed to talk about this. What Mike Pence is doing here is typically how politics worked. This is what they do. This is how the establishment perpetuates its agenda. Joe Biden comes in, his policy is we have a blank check to Ukraine. We will fund them till the end of time until they win, no matter what. They get as much money and weapons as we can possibly pour in. He's already pledged something close to $200 billion. Just insane. That's the choice, that we are all in on a proxy war of choice on Russia's border. Okay? And then Mr. Republican here comes in and says, those weapons aren't getting in fast enough. And then that is the debate. This is the way the system works. Then that's what we debate. We can have, and there's democracy for you. You got a choice between the guy who pledges all the support till the end of the world, perhaps quite literally, and then you get a Republican who goes, you're not pledging enough support quickly enough, and they can have that debate. That's what a typical presidential debate would look like, with some hack moderator like Chris Wallace sitting there and going, well, fact check, Mr. President, those Javelin missiles didn't get in quick enough. And then, Biden goes, no, they did get in quick enough. And then the whole debate is over whether or not we're doing a good enough job supporting Ukraine. And in 1 second, Tucker Carlson just blows this entire thing up and says, instead of this allowable 3x5 card, the index card, I'm stretching the Overton window all the way to over here, and we're going to be talking about whether we should be involved in this at all. Why the hell are we even involved in this when our country is collapsing? Then it really is just so obvious. Tucker's point is so obvious. Like, dude, you can't walk through a city in this country without there being just like human feces on the ground. We have homeless encampments in almost every major city of this country. Our schools are propagandizing our children. We're in $30+ trillion of debt. We're pitted against each other in this crazy culture war. Our currency is being devalued. Like, the amount of problems that we have in this country that we're sitting there going, we need to protect the borders of Ukraine. We need to by the way, Ukraine, who's in a war, with the holder of the largest stockpile of nuclear weapons in the history of the world. Like, wait, what? Why do we need to be involved in this? Why? When, I can't take my family to go see San Francisco anymore because I would never put my wife and little girl and baby boy in a situation like that. That's modern America. That I can't take my family to one of like the coolest, most beautiful cities in the country without being concerned. That's America. And yet somehow it is a priority of ours that the Donbass region not be ruled by Moscow, but instead be ruled by Kiev. What? That makes no sense. Why are we only allowed to have the debate over here in this little area? Let's ask that question. And it's just like Tucker Carlson does a masterful job of this. And you can just, it just exposes Mike Pence. Now, then after that, he can say, oh, no, I'm running for president because we're weak and I want to make us strong. But it's like, no, dude, your concern here is, think about how insane this is, that your concern is that we haven't given Ukraine enough. That's your concern. To put things in perspective here, we have given Ukraine more than Russia's entire military budget. Think about that. We've given them more than their enemies' entire military budget. But Mike Pence is very concerned that they haven't gotten there fast enough. Man, these people just cannot not jump on any excuse for war. It's pretty unbelievable. And Mike Pence is just getting destroyed on the internet over this. It's beautiful to watch.
Wow. Yeah, it is beautiful to watch. Sorry for a little glitch out there. I was just trying to pull up this video because it kind of exemplifies exactly what he's talking about. So right here, you can actually see, let me put this in proper view for you, but this is Kiev versus Philly 2023. Let me pull back this video for you again.
I want to claim to all Americans to understand that it's more than...
Look at Kiev. Kiev looks like a great place. It looks like a thriving American city or European city. It looks like a place that's thriving. While Philly, which is a city in America, is riddled with zombies, feces like Dave was talking about, drugs, people who clearly need help. And I know when you're an addict, you're making choices, but at the same time, look at these people. And again, yeah, these people made choices. I get that, but at the same time, there should be something that the U.S. not even the U.S. because the people don't want this in their streets. They don't want this in their cities. People of Philadelphia don't want this in their cities. Obviously, there's a small percentage of them that are absolute vermin types who are willing to sell these people whatever substances they're on right now. And obviously, those people are horrible. But at the same time, it's like there should be some kind of aid going to these people, picking these people up, throwing them in rehab, violent crime, throw them in jail, but more so rehab. Like, these people need help. And then again, like, I'm just concentrating on Philly right now. Take a look at Kiev if you haven't already while you're watching this. Look at Kiev. Kiev looks great. That's a war-torn city. That's a war-torn country. There's a war going on in that country. And look how they're living. Now, I know, obviously, there's other parts that are probably way worse, but I don't know. The reason that U.S. is being compared, or the reason Philly's being compared to Kiev is because the U.S. has given 150, maybe more by now, I'm not even sure, but around $150 billion to Ukraine. And then you have presidential candidates who are supposed to be worried about the images we're seeing in Philly. That should be their main concern, is what's going on their soil. But they're more worried about how they can fund these people quick enough, how they can give these people more money, more missiles. It's really, really weird. I've been saying it for a long time. It seems like there's some kind of attack going on within. And I think the attack from within stems from the mind states of the people who are in power of the U.S., of the government. Just wild to see. But this is exactly what Dave's talking about. Those exact images that you're seeing. Like, and past Dave, Tucker. That's what Tucker was talking about. And Mike Pence, famous words. It's not my concern. It's not my concern. If you don't think we can handle our problems here at home and be the leaders of the whole world, it's like, yeah, but I said this in a video before, but yeah, but which one do you do first? It's like, you can do both, definitely. But which do you do first? You know? It's like your neighbor's house is on fire and your arms are on fire. And you're just like, I can handle both at the same time. It's like, no, get your arms are on fire. Handle yourself first. Make sure you're good. Make sure you can breathe. No smoke inhalation. And then worry about the house across the street. Obviously. But yeah, Dave brought up a perfect... I didn't even see that. That's exactly what will happen. As they keep on asking these questions of, did the Javelin missiles come quick enough? Cluster bombs, this, that. The whole conversation that's being generated by asking these questions is just a huge narrative of support for Ukraine. And there should be more people like Tucker asking the question about, what about America? What about the cities? What about the people? What are you going to do there? Anyway, you can catch Dave Smith. He's on Twitter. That was a Twitter clip that I just showed you. He has a podcast. It's called Part of the Problem with Dave Smith. His ad on Twitter is @ComicDaveSmith. Very basic name. Exactly the way you'd spell Dave. Exactly the way you'd spell Smith. Yeah, great podcast and great perspectives that guy has. I'm going to be catching more of that podcast for sure. Like the video, this video, it helps so much. You have no idea. I know the like thing is right around there. Hit that like button. It helps so much. Share it out and start asking the question. You should, your local government, if you're at all close to your local government, if they're knocking on your door at all, that should be the question. Hey, just so you know, what are you going to do about the streets? Like who are you looking to have in office? That's what I would ask local government right away. Who do you want to see win the election? Right away. If they have an answer like they just want their party to win no matter what, blah blah blah, then it's like, okay, you're not concerned with the people. I don't know. It's just a question that we all have to ask a lot more. Like the video, it helps so much, and let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think Ukraine needs more? Do you think that they need things brought to them faster? Or should we have teams of people who are designated in healthcare and drug addiction and drug abuse? And should we have teams of those people hitting the streets? Should we be buying, instead of allowing BlackRock to buy up all sorts of land and Gates buying all up sorts of land and developments and houses and condos and this and that, instead of allowing all that, maybe the government should be investing in buying a bunch of housing and housing these people somehow. I don't know. But it seems like, and I know this is a crazy take, but it seems like the people of America are in more dire straits than the people of Ukraine. Now, why do I say that? Because the American government is worrying about the Ukrainian people more than the American people. And that's what's putting them in worse and more dire straits than the people of Ukraine. Just saying. Anyway, like the video, it helps so much. Boost us out of the shadow realm. And other than that, I am out.